exercises, opportunities that we can take advantage of to feel as much gratitude as we possibly can, as many times during the course of the day as we can. So one of them that we'll talk about is the grand prize winner gratitude journal, the GPW gratitude journal, which we'll describe in detail. But we're going to start off with just a basic gratitude journal, what that is. You've probably heard of that before. Write down perhaps at the end of the night or throughout the course of the day, things happen that were amazing and phenomenal and blessed that day. Like you got a chance to see the sun, or you got a chance to see the clouds and realize, wait, the sun's shining above those clouds, or whatever amazing opportunities there were to be grateful. Now, the twist that the Grand Prize Winner Journal does is we try to incorporate the chemicals. Dopamine, which is accomplishment, oxytocin, which is love, serotonin, which is gratitude, and endorphins, one that's pure gratitude, one that has to do with love. It can be for nature, it can be for a creator, it can be for self, it can be for a pet. And then we also want to have one that's dopamine, which is yes, which is accomplishment. So yeah, I achieved that, so you're feeling that, but you're also grateful that you achieved it. So you're hitting both of those chemicals, all right? So you really love, so oh my goodness, I'm so great. Oh, I love myself so much. That's awesome. I love myself so much. And I'm so grateful that I love myself so much. Oh, it's just wonderful. So you get both those chemicals. Yeah, then the gratitude just can be pure gratitude. And so that can be gratitude for the breath in my lungs. I'm so grateful for the breath in my lungs. I'm so grateful for the water that I get a chance to drink, that it has hydrogen and oxygen in it, and that the hydrogen in my water is 13.8 billion years old, and it tastes so good. And the oxygen is at least 4.5 billion years old, and that's coming to me right now, and it's refreshing me, even though there's so much ancient wisdom in the atoms in this water. So it can be gratitude for something that basic. And if you can feel grateful for something that basic, if you're grateful for atoms, and that the atoms were created, that's gonna take us so much further, because I can be grateful for that every single day. Let's make being as happy as we possibly can be and as grateful as we possibly can be as many times during the course of the day as we can. Let's make it easy. Let's make it easy for us to create a wonderful environment in our blood where dopamine, oxytocin, serotonin, and endorphins are being thrown out by our brain, put into the blood, and then giving our cells these great signals that everything's amazing, which it is. The cells have the chromosomes, and now we're making all these great chemicals like telomerase, which is extending our telomeres, or immunoglobulin A, which is the best thing we could possibly do for create that chemical for our immune system. So that is in essence the GPW Grand Prize Winner Gratitude Journal. Is not just gratitude, but focus on the chemicals. So we can focus and when you do this for 7 days or the 21 days or 30 days, we get into that pattern, we get into the habit, and then during the course of the day something happens, we feel good about it. Now we're thinking about these chemicals. We're actually just going to think about it, say, yeah, we're going to pump our fist, yeah. And then we're going to feel grateful that we achieved it. So it's going to create awareness as much as anything else. As much as anything else, we're reinforcing it, right? By doing it, and that's reinforcing it through our system. But we'll create the system, so through the course of the day, we're going to be noticing things that we appreciate. We're going to feel that love, right? And then we're going to feel grateful for that oxytocin. We're going to feel straight gratitude for things, and we are going to feel wonderful about accomplishments, feeling gratitude. And if we do work out, or if we do sing, or if we do laugh, that's endorphins. So we should write those things down. That's the bonus, that's the fourth one. And if you worked out and those endorphins, you're creating those, that's wonderful. And be grateful that you were achieving those. But if you're laughing or if you are singing in the moment, you can be creating those in your GPW Gratitude Journal. Gratitude exercise number 2, and this absolutely can lift your psychological state on a consistent basis, is forgiving strangers instantaneously on the spot. That's right, forgiving strangers as long as it doesn't relate to safety and it's something that is likely in the past. Then why give energy to something that is over? It's done. Why not just find strategies, and we'll talk about those, to forgive them instantaneously? And when we do that, it's going to make us feel like, man, we got this life. This is easy. And it's going to help us develop the skills to forgive others consistently that maybe we do see on a more than a, never again scenario. So someone we do see consistently. So let's give the easy example, which is traffic. Okay. So you're driving along right between the lines, you're doing perfect, and out of nowhere, somebody cuts you off. And how dare they, right? We've all got our rules in life, and here there's traffic rules as well. But how dare they break our own personal rules by not caring about our own safety, okay? And it's really easy to work ourselves up into quite a state. And naturally, our adrenal glands are going to create adrenaline and cortisol in that situation, so we have a better chance to protect ourselves in the future. That's what the human body does. So now our eyes are really big and we're gripping the wheel tight, and now they're in front of us and now we're angry at them, right? Ever been there before? The way that we can get through this, all right? Especially and it's more of a testosterone male thing, fortunately, than for females. But males, obviously, especially late teens and 20s, and not me, of course. But, you get to the point where, well, if they're going to do that, I'm going to tail them pretty closely for a while, creating more adrenaline, more cortisol, and none of this stuff any good for our cells. That's obvious. And especially when we do this consistently in all aspects of life, anytime situations occur. So we're going to try to break some patterns. So what happens is when this happens, the next time somebody does something there or at the grocery store, let's understand there's going to be chemicals flowing, all right? And they're going to dissipate, and then we're going to try to step back, okay? And the way that we can forgive them is to think back on our lives. Have we ever in our entire lives ever done anything on the roadways? Maybe just once, where maybe you just drifted into somebody's lane because you weren't paying it. You were thinking you were lost in thought, whatever the case may be. And most people probably have had at least one of those situations. So why not give them the benefit of the doubt that this is the one time they've done it? Probably isn't. You're probably right. But it doesn't matter. Do you want to be right or do we want to be happy? And this is the perfect example of that. So give them the benefit of the doubt. Create a story. It can be the same story again and again. One could be, maybe they've had a really rough morning. Right now they're just reacting in cortisol. Have you ever had a rough morning? Okay. Another situation may be they're late for work and they've been told if they're late again, they're going to lose their job. And then they're focusing on their children not being able to eat and going to school without, clean clothes or whatever you want. Just make something up, but see how the worthiness issues that would be in that person's mind when they do that. So try to find a way to give them the benefit of the doubt. And then once you're there, you've done it before, perhaps something in traffic, try to forgive them. Okay, it might take some practice, but once you do it, you develop it into a skill. I go a step further. And I don't know if I raise my hand when I'm driving. I do that. I probably do though. I bless you with pure love and light, pure healing and strength, pure original energy of God. And I send them a blessing, or your creator, or whatever you want to say. So something along those lines. And here's what it does. And you can see my face just brighten so much on this. Because when you do this, the chemical cascade is just unbelievable. Gone is the cortisol and adrenaline very quickly that normally would stay, for a while, and that potentially could affect your entire day. But now, look what I'm creating, all right? I'm blessing them. That's a form of love, all right? So now we're talking oxytocin, okay? Now I'm feeling this great feeling, and I'm feeling gratitude because I've developed these skills to be able to forgive people and even bless them when in the past my reaction would have been totally different. So totally different chemicals being created in the brain. And then now I do it. It's like, man, this life thing, I got this. And it's literally, it's a feeling of accomplishment. There you're getting dopamine. So I will literally leave these situations, especially when they're not, super close, but when they do something I think the rules are wrong, but then I catch myself. Literally, I leave that situation better because they did it. Better because they cut in front of me in line, wherever it may be. Because once I gain that, I'm feeling all these great chemicals. Yes, oxytocin, gratitude, dopamine, all right, instead of those other chemicals. And now I'm feeling even better than before. So imagine that difference. Before, generally, you're going like this. This event takes you down. And now this event takes you up. You're going along and you run into a situation that's, moderately serious. If your state is here versus right here, if this situation you're going along, you'll just cruise along and maybe come back up. If you're down here, you run into this situation, now you're going to handle it with a totally different reaction. You may say some things you otherwise wouldn't have said if you were in a higher state, and now it's just going to crescendo in a direction we don't want it to go. All right, so it's incredible if we can gain the ability for gratitude exercise number 2, to forgive people on the spot, to develop that into a skill and then a habit, and eventually it will become an instinct. Okay, so gratitude exercise number 3 is very simple. Just take your hands, put them across your heart center, close your eyes, and be grateful for 10 minutes, 3 times a day. This absolutely will change the chemistry of the body in a very, very positive way. The HeartMath Institute has done tons of studies on this, where literally what happens is the heart and the brain sync up. And the way that they can measure that is there's the EKG for the heart rhythm and the EEG for the activity of the brain. And literally what happens is they can be scattered and go in different directions. And then all of a sudden, now they're flowing together. They link up, and now our entire body, just especially our brain, different parts of it start to synchronize, and that can be what can be described as the flow state. And that can be reached and is reached through gratitude. So very similar situations. You do that, you think about some situations from your childhood that you're very grateful for something that happened yesterday that you're grateful for even right now, just trying to improve who you are as a person, as a soul. Feel tremendous gratitude for that you want to become more. Also, for our senses, our 5 incredible senses, our sight, our hearing, our smell, all these incredible senses that we have. The 11 systems of the body, again, are something that I just go to naturally. Just being able to take in those deep breaths. Just being able to have a heart that is sending this blood through miles and miles of blood vessels, of the veins, of the capillaries, of the arteries. Grateful that you've been gifted with a soul. Grateful that you've been gifted with ancestry that all happened perfectly, so that your physical body happens to exist for that soul to get a chance to enjoy this physical universe, this playground that, again, we've been gifted. So try these exercises for the next 10 days, 1 or all 3, the grand prize winner gratitude journal, GPW journal, forgiving strangers instantaneously, and heart-centered gratitude 3 times a day for 10 minutes. Try any or all of those for 10 days and get back to us in 10 days and let us know how it's changed your state, how it's changed your emotional set point, so it is at a higher level consistently. Please check out the link down below for the Miracles or the Natural Order of the Universe t-shirts that are available. Until next time, reminding you that you are filled with infinite value, that you are eternal and therefore invincible, and that you, I, and everyone around us share infinite connection.